Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Montgomery, and I am back again. And today we're doing a new lesson in Unit 7, and I think this lesson is going to be so fun and so easy for you because we've actually been practicing this every single day during math calendar. Maybe you didn't realize it, but we're actually doing this. Except now we're going to be doing it with a 10 frame. And that's just going to make it even easier for us. I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with this lesson today. So let me just jump right in and explain what we're doing. So we're going to be working with numbers 11 all the way through 19. And the cool thing about these numbers is that we can break them up into a 10 and some ones. Now, we've been doing some addition facts, like we could make 19 by doing, you don't have to write any of this yet, okay? So just make sure you're paying attention. We could make 19 by doing a plus a, right? We know a plus a is a doubles fact, and it makes 19. But what if we wanted to show 19 as two different parts of a 10 and the ones? How would we do that? Well, it's very simple, and I am so happy I get to show you this today. This is where things get really, really fun to me in math. Let me just erase that down here. Okay, so let's review how to make a number in a 10 frame. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's pick a number first. Let's pick a really fun, easy number like 11. So for number 1, we're just going to write the number 11 right here. Okay? And next to you guys, there should be some counters. If there's not any counters, make sure you hit that big space bar on your Chromebook so you can pause the video and just let me know that I forgot to give you guys counters, and I'll run over and make sure everybody has counters to use on their 10 frame. All right? So we're going to work with the number 11 first because that's the smaller end, right? So let's go through how we use a 10 frame the right way. We have to start in this box every single time. This is going to be box number 1, and we always make sure we go from left all the way to the right. And then if it stops here, this is going to be our second starting point right there. And then we start from the left all the way over to the right every single time. That never ever changes. And then when this first 10 frame is completely full, well, what do we do then? Well, if the first 10 frame is full, we're going to move down to the second 10 frame, and this is going to be our third starting point. And the same thing, we just go all the way over from left to right, and then if that row is filled, then we just go down to the next row. We keep that pattern. Oh, you realize? I didn't realize that. We're actually doing a pattern. This is a pattern every time. We fill a row and go down. Fill a row, go down. Fill a row, and then go down again. And we just got done learning about patterns in science. It's pretty cool. So, never forget how to use a 10 frame the right way. And let's just go to it. Let's start filling in the 10 frame the right way with the number 11. You guys have your counters. I'm going to fill in with this little marker right here. And we're going to count each one we put down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Aw, man, we filled up the first 10 frame. Where do we go next? Well, we go down to the second 10 frame. We figured that out pretty quick. And 11. We have 11 counters or dots on our 10 frames. And we're going to look at this as two different parts. So the first 10 frame is going to be the first part, right? So I'll write part number 1. That's going to be right there. Woo! This 10 frame up top is going to be our part number 1. And the second 10 frame is going to be part, I'm sure you guessed it already, number 2. That is going to be this 10 frame right here. Because we're making it into two different parts. It's just that the parts is going to be first how many 10s are there, and then how many 1s. I know it might sound a little confusing now, but once we go into it, you're going to go, oh my goodness, Mr. Montgomery, this is so easy. Why are we going through all this when it's so easy? Don't worry. So 11 is, well, what is our first part? We're not going to say this is 110. We have to actually write down how many dots we have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 11 can be 10 and what other number? A 1. So if we look at the number 11, so let's look at, let me get a different color real quick. Really quick. So first we look at how many 10s. We have 110, so the 10 comes out, and it goes right there. And then we look at the other part. How many 1s are in the 1's house? Well, there's just 1. So the 1 comes over. The only thing that's a little tricky is that when you pull the 10 over, make sure that 0 goes along with it. Okay? We have to see that it is a full 10. All right? Because if we were to say that, because they want to know exactly how big the part is. If we just put a 1 and a 1, well, we're going to think that we're making the number 2, and that can be a little confusing. We have to make sure that when we write the first part, which is 10, that 0 stays with that 1, okay? So we're going to practice again with another number, but we're going to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit more challenging for us. Let's see. What's a tougher number? Ooh, I got it. I got it. You ready? You ready for this? 17. That is a bigger number. It's a little bit tougher. So let's get our counters. And, well, we already have 10 in our top 10 frame, right? So we can leave those there. And we're going to count on from 11 because we already have 11 done. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and we stop. I accidentally made another dot. I'm going to erase that. All right. So we made 17 dots. Let's look at our parts because we're going to make sure that our first part is going to be a 10 first, right? Because we have a full 10 frame. This guy right over here is a full 10 frame. So our first part is 10. And we can even look at the 1's house on the 17. Let me get a different color here. Let me use a fun one. Green. Ah, love green. So look at that 10's house right there. How many are in the 10's house? There's 1 set of 10. So we pull the 1 out and keep the 0 with it because we're not bringing the 7 in the first part. And then we look at the second 10 frame, which is this guy right here. And how many dots do we have in our second 10 frame? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So our second part is, let me get a different color again. Our second part is 7. So then we could also look at our 1's house in the number right there. That 7 is in the 1's house, right? So we just got to pull that 7 out and goes boop. It's our second part. So the 10 frames are here to help us see what we're doing and why. So we have 2 parts that can make 17, which is always going to be a 10 and some 1s. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up to the inside of our work mats, and we're going to have some fun. Right, and I will give everyone a couple extra seconds to open up to the inside of your work mats. so we can have some more math fun. I love doing this kind of stuff in math. To me, it really is fun. I love it. All right. Everyone should have their work mats open and should be looking at number 1 on the next page. And they tell us the word of the number. So if you're having a little difficulty reading the word, that's okay. I'll make sure that before I send you off on your own, we actually read each number out loud together so you know what number is going to go in this box here, okay? Because we're going to have to read the word and put the number in the box. But first, let's look at number 1. Go all look at number 1 together and make sure we know exactly what we're doing and why. Okay? So they wrote the number 12 because the word 12 is right there. So first thing we do, we write 12 right in this box. We can just trace those dots. And next, we have to break it into the 2 parts that we just practiced. First, we're going to make a 10 and then the second part is going to be we're going to put the ones as the second part. So first thing we do, let me get a red color so it stands out. So first thing we're going to do is look at the tens house right there. How many tens are in the tens house? There's just 1. So we are going to write 10 because we have 1 set of 10. Okay? And next, we look at the ones house right there. How many ones are in the ones house? Well, we just have 2. So we trace this 2, and that's why they put down 10 and 2 as the parts. So let's go on to number 2. I'm going to, let's do this one together also. And then I'll read number 3 out loud to you. Okay? So number 2, we have the word 17. Now, when we read the word, we have to make sure we write the number the correct way. So 17, which number goes first? Because we know that there is a 1 and a 7 in the number 17. But which part goes first? We make sure that we write the 1 first and then the 7. Okay? Because if you write it the other way around, it's a different number, and we do not want that to happen. Okay? So next, we look at our tens house to see what parts we can make. Oh, let me do this real quick. Where's that arrow? So let's look at our tens house. How many tens are in our tens house? We just have 1 set of 10. So remember, it's 1 set of 10. So that means the whole 10 comes out. And it stands by itself as the 1 part. And then we look at our ones house. How many ones are in our ones house? Well, we have 7. So then we write the 7. Okay? I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds to do number 3. Going to do this one all on your own. I will read the word out loud to you, so make sure you're paying attention. Do not talk to each other. Pay attention. Ready? This word is 14. Okay? So make sure you write the number first in the box and show me the 2 parts. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to do that. All right, I think you guys should be done already. These are pretty quick to answer. So 14 first. Let's make sure we write the number down. It's a 1 with a 4 next to it, 14. And then we look at our tens house. I'm going to draw an arrow to it. Right here at this tens house right there. How many is in our tens house? 1. We have 1 set of 10, so we pull the whole 10 out. And then we look at our ones house. How many ones do we have? We have 4. So there we go. So you're going to do number 4 and 5 on your own and the entire next page all on your own. But before I let you guys off to do these 2 problems, I will read off each word to you so you know what the word says in case you're having a little trouble tapping it out. All right? So we have 16 and 19. Okay? So for number 4, it's the word 16, and number 5 is 19. So go on ahead, finish up this page, and then do the next 2 pages on your own so I can see how well you understand this. And remember, do not tell each other the answers. Okay? Do not help each other. I want to see what you guys can do on your own. All right? So go ahead back to your seats, and please do not talk while I'm working with everyone up front. If you have any questions, come sit with me up front, and I will try to answer your questions as soon as I can. In the meantime, have fun doing this fun math, okay?